Hi everyone, it's David Winter here from Canuck Play, rocking the quarantine beard that I'm sure many of you are starting to sprout. Seems to be the thing to do now that we're all sort of locked inside, looking after ourselves and everybody else. I am here in the office all by my lonesome, so social distancing, but still being able to get a lot of work done. So. Game development continues as best we can given the circumstances, but so far we're making a lot of progress. I say this every single time I do one of these video logs, and that same thing is I need to do more of these video logs because there's a lot going on and there's a lot to keep you up to date with, but I tend to spend more of my time developing the game than talking about it. So I'm going to try and do this a little bit more often, but again, I say that every time I do one of these things. Well, yesterday we had a pretty big announcement. We've been sitting on it since around January, late January, early February, and that is an engagement with Unity Professional Services. So that announcement came out yesterday. And then there were a lot of questions about what does that actually mean? What are we getting from that partnership? Well, as many of you know, the Maximum Football, the series for the console, has been developed since 2015 and has been using the Unity game engine. I started out with Unity 5.4 and then migrated to Unity 2017. And now, with the help of Unity Services, we're up running on Unity 2019, which has all the latest tools for console development and puts us in a really good place to be able to deliver on the Xbox Scarlet systems and the PS5 systems when they are on the market. Right now we're still working towards those platforms, but we hope to be on them when they are available. Not sure exactly when that's going to be given the worldwide situation, but everybody just keep your fingers crossed for that. Beyond migrating us to the latest version of Unity, the biggest thing that Unity Professional Services has helped me with is game frame rate performance, on-field frame rate and general performance of the game. When Unity engineers sat down and they reviewed my code and they went through it, the very first thing they said was, we cannot believe that this entire game was built by practically one person. Like, they were just gobsmacked at what had been done over the past 3 or 4 years by 1 or 2 people, and then in the past year or so we've added others, but initially it was just myself in my basement and growing the game from there. So they were really astounded at what I'd been able to accomplish with their tool set. And that's actually one of the reasons that they jumped on board, because it helps them show other indie developers that, you know, yes, if our tool can be used to help this single developer create console simulation football video games, then it can absolutely help you accomplish whatever project it is that you want to accomplish. So for them, it's a great marketing opportunity, and for us, it's a really great opportunity to get the expertise that I needed to sort of solve some of the issues that I was running into in terms of frame rate and things like that. One of the things that they did stress is that I was actually doing everything correctly. It's just that some of the tools and APIs and methods that they provide in the tool set not necessarily designed to do the types of things that I was trying to do. So one of the things that they helped with was refactoring some of the code that I had written in order to improve frame rates. So now the game on the lowest end Xbox is sitting at a very comfortable 60 frames a second, and that was really the major goal of bringing Unity online. We corrected a few things with the post-processing stack. We used some of Unity 2019's new methods and new functionality to shuffle some common work off to other CPUs, which was not possible in previous editions. And we've also done a lot of work with the replay system to try and minimize the memory footprint that was taking up. Another big area that we spent time on was the spectators. Some of the stadiums have 60,000 3D animated spectators, and they helped rewrite a system to make that work more efficiently and make better use of the new rendering pipeline that Unity has implemented. And so from a visual standpoint, the spectators in the stands look a lot better already. So really impressed with that. Better frame rates from the spectators, and they look better. So win-win. There's a lot of under the hood stuff that they helped me rewrite and improve from a performance standpoint, and that's really helped. The other things that they've done along the way, performance was absolutely the #1 reason to bring them on, but they also helped along the way improving things like the receiver animation system. Unity has written a custom set of tasks and some custom code specifically for Maximum Football that will help make the receiver animations a lot smoother. There will be less of the arm going through the head to try and reach for the ball that's beside, and the players turn better and in a more natural way. So have to give them a shout out for that, because they took that initiative and just decided that there was better ways to do the receiver animation systems than what I was doing, and so they just created a new system, and it's being implemented as we speak. So performance, new receiver animations, faster load times. One of the things that we heard a lot for 2019 was the load times going into screens. Well, we've improved that dramatically, and for those areas where we couldn't necessarily improve it, we've improved the feedback to the user so that you're not just staring at a static screen. There's a little bit more of an animation and little spinner things happening. So generally we've improved the loading times, but we still added more visual feedback to the player to let them know that the game hasn't hung, it's just doing stuff in the background. So those are kind of the big things. We also did some small tweaks to the lighting system. The lighting systems in these 3D engines are very, very complicated, and there's a lot to understand just for lighting itself. And I was doing the best I could with the lighting system, the best I understood it, and they were able to sit down and say, well, you were pretty close, but if we make these little adjustments, it'll look better. So made some small changes to the lighting system, and we're already seeing some better visuals. A couple of things that we're not doing. When this press release first came out, people thought we were changing game engines. We're not changing game engines. Unity is the correct tool for this project, and even if it wasn't, it would take about 4 years to change to a different game engine. You can't just copy and paste and have it work in a different engine. You'd probably have to rewrite most things. So we're not changing game engines. We're sticking with Unity, and with their help, we've made it a lot better. We are not. I see some questions about changing the player models. Not changing the player models this year. The player models in 2019 have only been in the game for a year, and to make the investment, the rather significant investment it took to have these player models developed and created, I need to spread the use of them out over 2 or 3 years. So those are the player models that we'll have for the next couple of years at least. Beyond that, outside of the Unity side of things, we are continuing to develop some new core features for the game. Sean Wignall is working on a couple of features that I think people will be really excited about, and I am working on a couple of features that I think people will be really excited about as well. We're not going to talk about those specifically today. People on our Patreon, the Patreon subscribers already have an idea, if not outright know what it is that we're working on. So if you're interested in finding out and being ahead of the curve, you can always subscribe to our Patreon. And that's kind of it for this video log update. I just wanted to add a little bit more information about Unity and how they're helping us, and tell you a little bit about what we've got coming down the pipe. We're still targeting September. I know that many games are getting delayed, and there's big challenges with game development right now, because for the most part the entire Canuck staff was already working remotely. The plan was to bring them into a central office this year, but that's sort of been pushed out. So for us it was just more of what we were already doing, and so that has meant that we're basically carrying on as normal as we can. So unless something happens from a third party from outside of our control, I don't envision us having any issues meeting our September timelines. So that's good news. And I kind of think that's it for this video update. I hope everybody is staying safe. Follow the directions of the doctors, so stay inside and try to keep away from people if you do need to go outside. I personally understand that it's a change in lifestyle, but it's one of the things that we have to do right now so that we can make this thing go away and we can have a reasonably normal summer. So thank you very much, and look forward to everybody's feedback in 2020.